welcome to the weekly roundup. It's Division 1 time, Darcy.
It is, TJ.
We've had 5 rounds of Division 1, it's starting to take shape nicely. We'll be reviewing and previewing, of course. Where are we starting this week, mate?
We're heading up to Ross Trevor, who took on Swords North, and they were big winners as expected. It was 17-15, 117 to 5-10-40. So.
Yeah, that depth that we talked about at the start of the year is a bit of an Achilles heel for Salisbury North, and certainly not good numbers at training, and their fitness, they're getting found out. They keep previously it was a 31-point lead surrendered to Adelaide Uni. Now, they were certainly in the mix at half-time against Ross Trevor, and Ross Trevor have kicked 11 goals to 1 in the second half. For Salisbury North as well, just the 2 goal kickers. Jamie Solly, the standout with 4, and Brad Hood, the other goal kicker. Not good.
No, not good, but we've got Gilby with 3 and Honch with 3 also. Then there was 10 other players that kicked a few goals there to put the name in the papers. So then McCullum and Jordan the best players. Yeah,
Ross Trevor too strong. Ross Trevor expect big things this year, and they are not letting us down. Prince Alfred got a scare this week. Yes, you are on that game. Beautiful.
Division 1 winners last year, and
yes,
they're just struggling.
Terms.
Playing bottom side, St Peters.
St Peters led at quarter time and were within a goal at both half time and 3/4 time. In the end, it was St Peters 12-11-83, Prince Alfred 13-12-90. So a good 7-point win, I guess. It was at Caterer Oval, and St Peters are going to surprise a few teams, but didn't quite get over the line.
I think there's a bit of an Intercold, don't they?
Yeah, this is the Intercold Classic. They paint the ovals, they get a couple of thousand for that, so traditional rivals. For Prince Alfred, McNamara was named their best, so good to see a different name of the best players. Crawford, whilst Pitt kicked 3 was their chief destroyer.
And for St Peter's, we've got Hazeman and Chenorden. Chenorden again, another Finnish part boy leaving the club. And the best players was Hargraves and Chenorden, there the best players as well for his few goals.
Yep. Next one, mate. Port District knocked off Adelaide Uni at large reserve. It was Port District 13-20-98, Adelaide Uni 13-30-91. Look, no real surprise. I thought Port District would win a reasonably close affair. It was tough to tip. So, yeah, Josh Rosenhall was their best player, so well done, Big, the Rosebud.
Is he still captain? He's been out there since the June, about
he's still the captain. I'm not sure if he's the captain.
Mate, club man through and through, Rosenhall. Yeah, seriously, Rosie.
And Bobby's brother, Carlisle, was also the best players. Gaffney kicked 3 for Uni, mate.
Yeah, Language with 3, and then individuals, again, they spread around for Uni because they both got 13 goals, but... and the best players was Language for his 3 goals, and Cunningham the best players. So still inaccurate kicking for both sides, really 13-20 and 13-13. So
yeah,
scores could be anything for a bit more accurate kicking.
Yes, Modbury upset Goodwood Saints. It was an upset, I'm calling it. I mean, they've come up from Division 2. Goodwood Saints, we saw them first hand with the live call when they drew with Paynham. It was Modbury 10-12-72, Goodwood 9-14-68, 4-point win there to Modbury. For Modbury, it was the Butcher, Toddy Stanton with 3, Gibson kicked 2, whilst sublimely skilled Timmy Davey was their best player. Every time he's played this year, he's been the best players.
Yeah, no, good on him too. And we've got Curls with 4 for Goody Saints, and 5 other players with individual goal scorers there, with Barry and Carter in the best players. Yeah,
Tommy Barry, he was very good in the game we watched, and Jack Carter is, of course, Tom Carter's brother. I think Jack Carter is at the AFL listed one. Yep, he played for Collingwood. He was on Collingwood's list there. Louis Whitelock, the captain, also on the best players. It's great to have done these live calls because you do learn a lot more intimate details about these clubs. And yes, we did do a live call last week.
This is one you called.
It went really well until for the first half.
Weird. So you weren't too happy when you were hearing that the week before about Paynham Union losing over the radio, but now you're actually there, and the big loss there to the boys. Yeah, the scoreboard probably makes it look a lot worse than what it was. So it was Teacher, and the other thing is, mate, Teacher Gully are the best team in the comp, and Paynham aren't. So I'm a realist. I live in the real world, mate. So I kind of expected it. Teacher Gully 16-13-109, Paynham North Junior 9-6-60. It was only 3 points of difference at half time, and only 2 goals of difference at 3/4 time. Paynham had a good reputation for finishing well, but the Gullies were just all over Paynham. And Matty Stent, he wasn't named best in the paper or on the thingy, but Matthew Stent, no, look at the producer's face, it's like he's just swallowed it all. How on earth?
Matty Stent kicked 3, kicked 2 sublime goals early in the game. He was by far the quickest player with ball and in transition throughout the day, absolutely unstoppable. We didn't have the right match up on him early, we had debutant on him, and he carved him up, unfortunately. Alex McKay was named their best, whilst Dylan Showermakers joined him. Showermakers was also excellent. They're a whole on-ball division. They're actually a really good on-ball battle throughout the day. Stent kicked 3, Personals kicked 3, Melville kicked 3. They have a host of other goal kickers. You can do the payment.
Oh, you can do payment if you like, because obviously you know that the boys know.
Joshy Donahue kicked 3. Strato Agorostos kicked 2, but certainly wouldn't have been happy with his game. I wouldn't have thought. He was well and truly touched up by. I can't remember who was on there, but yeah, didn't have his best day. Ansell battled his ass off in the midfield all day. He probably had 20 handballs, I reckon, but all under immense pressure. Tommy Wagner. Van der Hack was on Agorostos, yeah. Tommy Wagner's a 17-year-old young fella, son of the great... Yeah, and he... Look, when I first saw him, I was a bit surprised by his selection, but geez, he's really started to come on. He pinch hit in the ruck and did well. Kicked goal up forward, did he? Maybe he didn't kick goal this week, but he played well across half forward, presented, he led up, even went back in defence, ran back with a flight twice, showed plenty. Chase Barrett fullback, his job on Melville was excellent, and he had some good supply. Disappointing for Payneham.
Who's your normal full forward? He plays in the right.
Nick Jolly.
No, Nick Jolly.
Nick Jolly didn't play. Look,
Didn't play.
Don't want to get into excuses, but if it seems you've asked, Nick Jolly,
agreed.
Liam Davis, Paul Lowe, 3 leading goalkeepers from last year didn't play. Then a couple of other injuries as well. Payneham don't like when you're giving away too much. They do crack it at me. So, but Payneham, they're going to be tested now. They're going to reach into their depth, and probably a nice segue for this week. I mean, looking at the ladder as well, Payneham 1.5 wins, 3 losses, sit in 8th, danger game against Spock, who are starting to find their feet in this division. Spock sit 10th, but haven't had a win yet. But they'll fancy themselves a big chance heading to Payneham Oval this week.
Well, yeah, but 8th versus 10th, of course they would, but I still don't think. I think Payneham Union will still certainly bounce back from. They play Teacher Gully, you know, means they play Teacher Gully the best, as you said, best side, and I think they're playing probably St. Peter's aren't that flash, but I think Payneham Union by quite a bit.
I would think it would be a very tough game. It depends on the injuries. Again, a lot of personnel changes. Payneham need to find a way. I think they might just. Look, you could argue where the game of the round is. The other 3 of the other 4 games, mate, are going to be absolute barn burners for mine. I think the Ross Trevor Port District game probably deserves game of the round title. Ross Trevor 4-1, Port District's 4-1. It's second versus third. I'll tell you what, you win this game. Do you know what you get?
Top spot.
Second spot. Well, you know what? If you win this game, if Ross Trevor do win this game, they could potentially go top. Well, I haven't seen Port District, and I've seen Ross Trevor twice. Ross Trevor, very impressive. They've recruited well. Poe didn't play last week, and they still won by 11 goals. He's their star recruit. Gildy's starting to find his feet. Handsome, Hurley, he's good every week, and it's just their midfield rotations that I really like. They'll win.
Same for me, Ross Trevor.
Yep. Goodwood Saints and Tea Tree Gully. Goodwood Saints are underachieving. I can't believe they're in the 5 after losing again on the weekend. 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. Their best is certainly very, very good. Could they pull off an upset against Tea Tree Gully?
No.
You know my theory on don't bet against the street, so I won't. I'll take the Gullies for mine.
So you can't believe in the 5. We've got Goodwood Saints, PAC and Adelaide University all on 2 and 3. So
well, no, Goodwood have had to draw all the time.
It's going to throw me out. I hate that.
Yeah, you do struggle with draws. Next one, mate.
Yes, we've got Salisbury North and PAC. So both teams are. Salisbury North are struggling obviously because they only had a few players out there a couple of weeks before the start of the game. So as you said, unfit. They probably haven't had the training, the fitness in their legs. PAC.
Is that Salisbury North? I'd expect Salisbury North to be in the lead at half time and PAC to run over the top of them and probably have a 10-goal to 4 second half. PAC by 5 goals.
PAC, the fittest side, will certainly come over.
The other thing is PAC will look at the Goodwood versus Tea Tree Gully game and say, here's our chance to be in the 5 for the first time this year. We need to take it.
Absolutely. And the last game, we've got Adelaide University and Modbury.
Yep. Look, it's a surprise pack at Modbury. They sit 4th on 3 and 2 at the moment, whilst Uni sit 7th on 2 and 3. Uni's percentage is okay. Uni could find themselves in the 5. Again, a bit of a surprise. They haven't looked like doing too much damage, but they've come from 31 points down a couple of weeks ago. They've nearly knocked off Port District. Can they knock off Modbury at home?
No.
Okay.
Not this week, but they could find themselves the other way as well. So close to that bottom 5 that they could find themselves pretty close to relegation after a few weeks.
It is a very even competition from 4 down to 8, isn't it? And who knows if Salisbury North can find their way a little bit. That was quite humorous. What's just happened off screen? And look, is that the last game?
That is the last game. That's it for Division 1.
Yeah. Okay, so that's been Division 1. There is plenty happening at the Paul and Hotel. Thanks for joining us.
And
we'll be back next week.
See you later.